Desceu bem o, desceu.
Dominant force, 3 times champions. Can they make it 4? Here are our officials. Pere Gautier is the referee. Carlo Savino is the second official on the pitch. Wong is on the touchline alongside the timekeeper, who's Yaya Debia of Senegal. There's the Brazilian team. Look out here for Manuel Tobias, number 5. As for Kazakhstan, one of the most experienced teams in this tournament. Their oldest player is Tursunov, who's aged 39. Kalikov is 34. In all, 5 of their squad of 14 are aged 30 or over.
We do have one youngster, Yusupov.
Here's the Brazilian team. Ravalicia is the goalkeeper. Their coach here is Jacqueline Vanda, 3 times a winning captain as a player. Now he's got the job of coaching the team. Tekau, who is the coach of 3 winning teams, is a FIFA delegate here.
Coin with referee Pere Gautier from Belgium. And Belgium not making it through to these championships. Quarter-finalists 4 years ago.
There's the Kazakhstan lineup, the starting 5 there on the left-hand side. We were speaking to the Kazakhstan coach yesterday, and he was saying that he's got 1 or 2 injury problems. There were doubts whether or not 2 of his squad would be able to play. So in effect, Kazakhstan reduced to 12 players even before they kick off their first fixture. Quickly, a reminder of the rules. It's 5-a-side, don't forget. Each game lasts for 40 minutes. A 1-minute timeout can be called by each team in each half. The outfield players can go into the goal areas. There are no throw-ins. The ball is kicked into play, and there's no restriction where the goalkeeper can go on the pitch. He can throw the ball any distance as well. The 6th accumulated foul results in a penalty to the opposition for the second penalty mark, 10 metres outside the goal area.
So this Group A match between Brazil and Kazakhstan is just about to get underway. And what a task ahead for the team from Kazakhstan. Their first time at the World Championships, and up against Brazil. Oh, and he is the man to watch, Manuel Tobias, the best player at the 1996 tournament.
Manuel Tobias, an outstanding player, plays professionally in Brazil. He earns $250,000 US every year. Schumacher on the ball at the moment, though. There's a parry there by the Kazakhstan goalkeeper. Lakamov getting the ball away. Positive start by Brazil, positive start by Schumacher. Tobias. And he's got the first goal for Brazil. 27 seconds on the clock, and Manuel Tobias has put the champions ahead. Terrific finish that by Manuel Tobias. No real backlift at all, but a powerful shot. Lakamov had absolutely no chance.
Well, that was the third effectively the third shot on goal in the first 30 seconds of this match. It's going to be tough for Kazakhstan. Tobias in the action again, but this time it's Lakamov who takes a looping ball. Tobias scored 14 goals in the 96 World Championships, leading goal scorer and best player.
And it's Tobias on the ball away. This time the effort is from Schumacher and it's been turned aside. It promises to be a busy 40 minutes for Dmitry Lakamov. Almost arrogant crossfield pass there by Schumacher. Schumacher, age 25, from Vasco da Gama.
This Brazilian team is certainly the team to beat at the championships. 3 World Championships so far, 3 wins for Brazil. And yet, interestingly, there are only 2 players here who were in the 96 victorious team, and they were also in the 92 team. Tobias is one of them, the other is Benino. So such depth in this game in Brazil, they can afford to rotate their players and bring in a new crop 4 years later.
Lenicio now on the ball for Brazil. Another good save. But there, Lakamov just parrying the ball back into the danger zone. It was a languid start to this game by Brazil. The tournament favourites in a group which contains the host nation, Guatemala and Portugal. There's that thumping effort from Manuel Tobias, which has given Brazil the lead. A lead after just 27 seconds of play. Futsal, of course, 40 minutes in duration. Each team can call a 1-minute timeout in each half. Kazakhstan skipper. Dispossessed. Brazil crushed Argentina in the Combiol final. They scored 55 goals on the way to winning the tournament back in 1996, including 18 in one game against Cuba. Schumacher. Firmino. Shot was drilled against Lukonin. Firmino with a dynamic left foot. Firmino, one of the players involved in 1992 and again in 1996.
Those 55 goals you mentioned in 1996 were spread around 10 players. Tobias scored 14 of them.
And Tobias with another opportunity here for Brazil. Here's Firmino. Schumacher now. Firmino to take the move on. And how did that stay out? Well, it seemed to rebound to safety off Lakomov's back. He was clearly beaten by the shot. Tobias, and a second chance, and again for a second time, and a third time. Brazil have hit the woodwork. Well, what an opening here for the world champions.
And how would you like to be Lakomov in goal at the moment? What a job he has to do. Three times it's hit the woodwork.
Ball just pinging around inside there. That was the effort from Firmino, which thudded against the inside of the upright. Already you sense that this will be a damage limitation exercise for Kazakhstan.
What an introduction to the World Futsal Championships for Kazakhstan against this power team.
A chance here for a second goal, which has been denied.
Well, I mentioned the goals were spread around in 1996, and on that occasion, perhaps they were spreading it around a little too much.
Brazil already with the majority of the possession. It could well be a lonely job for Yusufov, who's the player, perhaps the recognised frontrunner here for Kazakhstan. Will be all-out defence. An indication of just how eager these Brazilians are. All their substitutes currently wearing bibs, standing behind their coaches on the sidelines, all warming up. They're eager to get into the action.
It may also be a lonely time for Lavoisier, who is the goalkeeper for Brazil. He hasn't had a touch of the ball yet.
Manuel Tobias. Firmino. Tobias once more. And another drive against the underside of the bar, this time by Lenicio. Schumacher. Firmino. And another has bounced away. This way from Manuel Tobias. I'm losing count of the number of times that Brazil have hit the woodwork.
That's 4.
I think you've missed one, Mike. Attempts on goal, 11-0 Brazil, leading by 1-0, but 11 attempts on goal already.
In 4.5 minutes.
Everybody's got to be on their toes here. Here come Brazil with Schumacher. They've most definitely got into the flow of the game, there's no doubt about that. Firmino. A clear opening there for Firmino. So easy there for Firmino to get away from his marker. Well, much is made of Manuel Tobias, but you can't overlook Firmino. Another vastly experienced futsal player. Oh, what a magnificent goal that was by Lenicio. An audacious angle. It was only a question of time before Brazil got their second goal. But fantastic skills from Lenicio. He had nothing to shoot at all there, but somehow he managed to squeeze it past Lakomov.
This is a quality side, the best side in the world. And they are going to be mighty hard to beat for their 4th World Championship. And yet this is the assessment we make within 5 minutes of their opening game. So impressive, the Brazilians.
Well, Lenicio is 24. He was top scorer in the Brazilian Football League last season. He's been trailing with Atletico Mineiro. He's actually been invited to switch to soccer, but he prefers to play the game indoors.
And it really is a specialist game these days. The leading teams, and in particular, you look at Brazil and to a lesser extent Spain, they are futsal specialists, indoor specialists, and very few play the outdoor game as well, unlike some of the other teams in this tournament.
Has to be said, though, in years gone by, Brazil have used outdoor players, outdoor internationals who've made the national futsal squad. Already a very polished performance by Brazil. Tobias always eager to see the ball, always eager to be in possession, as is Firmino. A chance here for Kosinov to break forward for Kazakhstan. It's a real struggle for Kazakhstan to get the ball. Firmino, Manuel Tobias, Firmino again. Ball is scooped to safety for a Brazil corner. Get the impression that Brazil aren't really stretching themselves at the moment. They haven't had to stretch themselves. So many goal-scoring opportunities. Manuel Tobias just setting the ball up for Lenicio, who will be disappointed that he missed from there. It was a clear opening for Lenicio, who's already scored with a much tougher effort.
This is looking at the moment, it's little more than a training routine for the Brazilians. It's a pity the crowd are expecting so much, and they are producing so much, but little opposition.
Schumacher there with the shot across the face of goal. Kazakhstan with an experienced squad, but not the strongest team in Asia by any means. They went through as runners-up. They were beaten 4-1 by Iran in the Asian final. Thailand are the other Asian representatives, of course, having finished third. They've never been this far before. It's a real adventure for them. It could also be a real education here against Brazil.
As two of the three Asian teams are new to this tournament. In 1996, Malaysia and China were the representatives other than Iran. So an opportunity for Kazakhstan, but what an introduction.
And Kazakhstan have a corner. Sambayev with a shot. Brazil with the opportunity to regroup in defence. The shot against the post this time. Sambayev with a golden opportunity to pull a goal back there for Kazakhstan. Well, a great chance. They won't get a better chance than that, surely, Kazakhstan. Ball came to Sambayev very, very quickly. Ball driven across the face of goal. And the final man in the line, who was Schumacher, was caught out there.
And Lavoisier was diving across, but he really wouldn't have had it covered. There was a gap, and Sambayev couldn't take it.
Oh, the ambitious pass there by Lavoisier, the goalkeeper. Lavoisier, who plays for Vasco da Gama, as does Manuel Tobias.
It's a very powerful club. There are quite a few. Andrea is another. Schumacher. And Viewer is yet another from that Vasco da Gama club.
Firmino. And this time, the great man has found the side netting. Maybe he is vulnerable. Brazil beat Costa Rica 12-0 in a warm-up fixture. Manuel Tobias outscored everyone in a series of rather facile warm-up fixtures for Brazil. And further problems here for Kazakhstan. Bayev is the player who's feeling the bump on the back of his head. Canino. Schumacher. Here's Lenicio, who's been caught out this time. And Kasanov is fired wide.
Well, they've had a couple of opportunities against the run of play, it's got to be said.
Lapse of concentration there in the Kazakhstan defence. It's Lenicio again. Second goal for Lenicio. Almost too easy for Brazil. The substitutes offering encouragement from the bench. They've called a timeout as well.
And there is the goal at the other end, just to the right corner. And Lenicio with his second, and there is the scoreline, and that is after just 8 minutes of this match. Brazil 3, leading Kazakhstan 0. And Kazakhstan disappointed, no doubt, that they weren't able to have one goal on the board through Bayev.
Lenicio, 2 goals in this opening fixture for Brazil. Brazil, in truth, could have had 10 by now. They've had so many opportunities. The Kazakhstan goal has really led a charmed life.
This is the power base of World Futsal. There's no doubt about that. The Brazilians have dominated the World Championships, and yet the game itself has its origins in Uruguay back in 1932. But quickly the power base spread to Brazil. Europe produced 3 of the 4 semi-finalists in '94. Here goes Tobias again. Oh dear, just wide to the right. Yes, 3 of the 4 came from Europe, but the dominant team above them all is Brazil.
Such great fluidity of movement from this Brazilian side. Oh, terrific skills, magnificent skills there by Firmino, and a very good save indeed by Lakamov. The Kazakhstan goalkeeper already distinguishing himself. That's surely the most outstanding skill we've seen so far. Brilliant footwork by Firmino. Really was outstanding. Look at this. Such brilliant close control. One way then the other, but he didn't deceive the goalkeeper. Lakamov clutching the ball to his chest.
It really is a feature of this game. The close-in skills. A small pitch, only 5 players on each side.
Now it's Kazakhstan's turn to try and press the game a bit more. Bondrev, the skipper, to take the corner. But really it's hit and hope for Kazakhstan now. But Muratov there, prepared to have a shot at goal from some way out. Firmino, Manuel Tobias, Schumacher, Manuel Tobias again, Firmino, great movement from Brazil. The pace is phenomenal. Inju, the substitute now, eager to get involved. But here come Kazakhstan. There's a chance here for a goal for Kazakhstan, and a penalty, has to be a penalty. The ball has gone in the net. Kazakhstan are claiming the goal, but the whistle had already gone, much to Kazakhstan's frustration. Reckless challenge there by Lovisia. Murtov is stepping forward to take the penalty. Here's the incident which led to that penalty. By Muratov. Oh, fantastic shot that was. That was a real net buster.
Well, they deserved the goal there, Kazakhstan, because they were unfortunate that they put the ball into the net after the whistle. There was no way, had the whistle not gone, that Brazil were going to save that goal. And ultimately, it was put in through the penalty.
Bayer Muratov gets the goal then for Kazakhstan from the penalty spot. gives them a bit of hope. But will that sting Brazil into life once more? Goal was no more than Kazakhstan deserved. It was a rather reckless challenge by Laborícia, the Brazilian goalkeeper. Almost at the halfway point in the first half.
Coach from Kazakhstan, Karizyan.
Kazakhstan now playing with increasing confidence. There was an ambitious crossfield pass. Lukonin with great vision there, just trying to search out the skipper, Bondrep, who'd made a very positive run forward. Indu, which means Indian in Portuguese. Here's Schumacher. Shot was charged away by Muratov. And another fine save by Lakabov. He was off balance, he was going the wrong way there, but he still got Indu's effort away. Falcao. The indoor player, no relation to the former Brazilian international skipper. Outdoors. This one is age 23 from the Banespa club. Schumacher. Falcao. Manuel Tobias. This time the accuracy of the pass wasn't what he might have expected. Good play here by Yusupov, but once more Brazil stung into action on the counter-attack.
Well, there's no doubt Kazakhstan are playing with more confidence now, and that was evident before they scored their first goal. Still 3-1 to Brazil.
Oh, brilliant footwork there by Falcao. Mesmerising work there by Falcao. The great strength of the indoor game is the fact that it encourages close skills, and there Falcao with a perfect exhibition. Brazil, though, interestingly, have committed 5 fouls. One more and they'll concede another free penalty from outside the D. Indu. Now Falcao. Falcao once more. Oh, that was a very, very clever shot. Spun in with the outside of the foot. Falcao has made a big impression since he came on as a Brazilian substitute. Don't forget that in futsal we have rolling substitutions.
The depth of talent in this Brazilian team makes it so difficult for Kazakhstan. They're not just watching, for instance, Manuel Tobias or Firmino. They're watching all of these, not only the 5 players there, but those who can come on as substitutes as well. Schumacher, another fine player, has been busy.
Manuel Tobias. Now Falcao. And shot over the top by Manuel Tobias. Just feel that he isn't quite into his stride yet. Many of the Brazilians have made their way to Southern Europe to play professionally. There's a strong league currently in Italy. Manuel Tobias. Now Schumacher. Falcao. This time it's Koshinov with the block. Schumacher, who's at the centre of most things it seems now for Brazil, has the opportunity to drop back, and it gives them an extra option. Falcao is very eager to make inroads down this right-hand side for Brazil. Here's Schumacher, clear centre goal, and another goal for Brazil. scored it. It's his first goal in the tournament. And in the end, it was an easy goal for him. Falcao, the creator again. More mesmerising skills from Falcao. And nobody closed him down. Schumacher there with an easy finish, really.
Yes, he has been a fine player. There's the scoreline. Brazil 4, Kazakhstan 1. And that is after 13 minutes of play. This could be a very big score heading Brazil's way. Kazakhstan, on the other hand, have shown in qualifiers they are capable of big scores. They slotted 9 goals against Japan in their Asian qualifier semi-final. But playing Japan in Bangkok is quite different than facing the world champions here in Guatemala.
Toxanbayev just trying to turn Falcao. Another kick in for Kazakhstan. They're not making a great deal of progress down this touchline at the moment. They need to provide some extra creativity. Maybe they will find it now. Toxanbayev with a shot into the side netting.
He does seem to be their most dangerous player when they go forward, Toxanbayev. Unlucky, very unlucky not to have scored a goal much earlier.
Falcao. Schumacher. Falcao has continued his run forward. And Indu with the shot over the top of the crossbar. Schumacher has made an impressive contribution. That's his goal. Brazil leading by 4 goals to 1. Rinovic there, just getting a foot in. Falcao. Schumacher.
It's interesting looking at those Brazilian players out there at the moment. You can look at Falcao, Schumacher and Tobias, and also out there Indu. All very tall players, and yet generally in this game of futsal you would think it's the smaller players close to the ground who have the ball skills. This is a very tall Brazilian side.
And Brazil making full use of the court. They're finding so much space, so much room here which Schumacher can exploit, which he does with a magnificent shot. Fantastic drive from Schumacher. 2 goals now for Schumacher. Thunderous effort that.
Well, what a performance this is by Schumacher. Deep on the right side and finding the angle.
And Schumacher now taking a well-earned rest.
And both his goals coming in the space of 60 seconds of actual playing time. So the score there, 5-1, Brazil's way.
Schumacher the goal scorer. 2 now for Schumacher. 2 for Laninho. The first one though scored by Manuel Tobias, the best player in the world arguably, a player who can command a salary of $250,000 US playing indoor football. Here comes Indu. Just can't release Manuel Tobias this time. An opening here for Kazakhstan. Good turn as well by the player on the ball who was Yusupov. Falcao. Benino. And a brilliant drive by Manuel Tobias. And the goalkeeper felt the full brunt of that effort from Manuel Tobias. Kazakhstan are calling for a timeout. The goalkeeper is down and hurt. Really was winded by that terrific shot from Manuel Tobias.
Well, he's left 5 goals past, but what a performance this has been by Dmitry Lakomov, the 24-year-old from Kenya. He really has performed outstandingly well. And Kazakhstan could ill afford to lose him. I think he's winded. He's just lost his breath for a moment. But it has been breathtaking football by Brazil.
Breathtaking performance by the world champions. Don't forget, Brazil, winners of the world title in 1989, 1992 and again in 1996 when they beat Spain by 6-4 in a thrilling final in Barcelona. And the top scorer in that tournament, Manuel Tobias, with 14 goals, already on target here for Brazil. There's a penalty kick for Kazakhstan. That was for the 6th foul. A shot saved there, coming in from Murtov. Plenty of venom in the shot there from Muratov, but this time Laborussia equal to the task.
Good news for Kazakhstan. Lakamov is back in goal, needing some support at the moment from his fellow defenders. They try to work it clear.
Yusupov. Now Bondrev. Kazakhstan now trying the more direct approach, lofting the ball over the back of the 2 men at the back here for Brazil. Anderson is on now, there alongside Firmino. Falcao ready to weave his magic once more. Firmino. Another parry by the goalkeeper. Doesn't like to catch the ball. And great close skills there by Indu. There's a real buzz around the stadium at the moment. Everybody completely taken by this performance by the Brazilians. Their close control has been fabulous, and they've dominated the game from the very start. Indu. Pass intended for Falcao was cut out there by Muratov. Yusupov dispossessed. A chance here for Indu. Oh! He had such an opening then. Seemed to have done the hard part as he shimmied one way and then the other to get the ball beyond Lakamov, who was committed to diving out and to trying to scoop the ball to safety. Bondrev. By Murtov. Bondrev once more. Tried one little touch too many.
The indication of the strength of this Brazilian side. At the moment they can afford to rest. Manuel Tobias, he is taking a break. And you wouldn't know it, the intensity is exactly the same.
Another thumping drive from Firmino. Here come Kazakhstan with Yusupov, who's looked very useful during this first half. He's got terrific pace, but it's pace which so far Kazakhstan have been unable to exploit. Brazil back in possession. Indu. Now Firmino. Anderson offering the option out wide. Didn't quite come off for Brazil then, but once more they're playing with so much confidence.
Why wouldn't you play with confidence with the scoreline of 5-1, 2.5 minutes out from half-time in this Group A match, the first game for both these sides, Brazil and Kazakhstan.
Anderson cutting out a sloppy pass. Toksanbayev. It was a good opening. Koshinov getting forward. Koshinov, one of the younger players in this Kazakhstan squad. Only 23 rather, he plays for the Aksu team. And just stretching out there to try and get in on the end of that pass. Koshinov. Toksanbayev unable to keep the ball in play.
They do have some good players going forward, Kazakhstan, but the wealth of talent is just overpowering by their opponents. They've already scored 5 goals and well in control. The favourites to win the World Championship already.
Anderson. And a chance here. Infringement was spotted not by our main official here, Perry Gautier, but by the assistant, who was quick to acknowledge the fact that a foul had been committed. Another opportunity for Kazakhstan to relieve some of the pressure on their goalkeeper, Lakamov. Kasanov again. Finino. Brazil really bossing the game. They're playing the game at their pace, at their tempo. They're creating so much room and space for each other. Players eager for the ball, they're willing to have the ball. Even when they're under pressure, they're willing to work an opening for their teammates. And at last, a misplaced pass.
Well, that's a rarity. Very rarely will Brazil give up the ball like that. The pass just a little wide, and that allows Kazakhstan with the ball in Brazil's half. They just take it back to their own half now. And the goalkeeper there, Lakamov, who has had so much work to do.
And that was a poor clearance by the goalkeeper, Lakamov. Here's Anderson. Clock is ticking down. We're into the final minute of the first half. One last opportunity maybe here for Brazil. But could they be cut out by Kazakhstan on the break? Ball just bobbled away from Toksanbayev there. Kazakhstan will be encouraged by the fact that they've got the players in their team who are prepared to run at Brazil. But they've had precious few opportunities, and some of the opportunities they have had, they've wasted, no doubt about that. That is the end of the opening 20 minutes. A convincing show by the world champions Brazil. Brazil 5-1 leaders here against Kazakhstan. 2 goals for Lenino, 2 goals for Schumacher, and a first in the tournament by Manuel Tobias, the first goal for Brazil after just 27 seconds.
And the 1 goal for Kazakhstan coming from a penalty scored by Baymuratov. So the goals coming after 27 seconds, and then in the 5th minute, the 8th minute, 9th, 13th and 13th, and Baymuratov scoring in the 9th minute, that penalty for Kazakhstan. To give them
themselves on these championships, and they impose themselves. All set for the second half to get underway. 20 minutes in duration each half. Just to remind you of the rules, each team can call for a 1-minute timeout, and the clock is stopped every time the ball is out of play. 2 referees. The principal official is from Belgium, it's Perry Gautier. The second referee is Carlo Savino, there he is, from the United States. So we're underway with Kazakhstan in the sky blue, here attacking from left to right. Baymuratov there with the opening shot of the second half. Baymuratov, who scored Kazakhstan's goal in the first half from the penalty spot. And here come Kazakhstan again. Yusupov, well, that is the mark of a good goalkeeper. Inactive throughout most of the first half. We've just had the half-time interval, and he's called into action right from the start, and he responds magnificently. save. What a good stop that was. Surging run by Yusupov.
And into the goalkeeper, diving away to his left-hand side. Remarkable agility.
And here come Brazil once more. And somehow Kazakhstan are able to get the ball to safety. Accusing look there from Sergei Lukonin. He wondered why his goalkeeper Lakamov then hadn't dealt more capably with the effort from Manuel Tobias. Spectacular clearance. Another let-off for Kazakhstan. We lost count of the number of times that Brazil hit the woodwork in the opening 20 minutes of this game.
And most of those in the opening 4 minutes. It was an amazing start, and just a couple of centimetres either way, and it could have been a huge score after 3 or 4 minutes.
But Kazakhstan have stuck to their task. They've made a game of it, certainly. They will have learned from the experience. They'll have learned not to give the ball away so easily, certainly not to Manuel Tobias. Here's Banda.
Didn't see any action in the first half, Banda. Not to be confused with the coach of the same name.
This is Kariocha Banda. And that was a better stop, certainly, by Lakamov there to get the ball away from Schumacher. Manuel Tobias. Oh, and again Brazil have hit the post.
Start counting again. Tobias. Well, he scored the opening goal of the match. And then Brazil were in the position where they were able to rest him in the last few moments of the first half. Again, hitting the woodwork here. Look at the shot.
Lakamov looked shell-shocked, and to his credit, the goalkeeper got a hand to that. Lakamov it was who turned the ball against the post.
So the shot was on target. Unfortunately for Tobias, though, on target with the keeper as well.
Manuel Tobias, the outstanding figure in world futsal. And again, it's Lakamov to the rescue for Kazakhstan, saving this time from Lenicio. Linovic. Second opportunity for Linovic to try and create something for Kazakhstan. Koshinov really had to stretch to try and keep that ball in play. Schumacher. Lenicio. Confident catch by Lakamov and an intelligent throw out. Trying to release Koshinov. Tactic here is obvious for Kazakhstan. Trying to keep Koshinov well up the field of play. So only hope really to try and snatch a goal back, it seems. That was a bad miss.
Kasanov was there. He really should have got a foot on that. And he may well have slotted it.
Schumacher. Manuel Tobias. Looks effortless at times for Tobias. Oh, but how did he miss that? Shake of the head from Manuel Tobias. Wasn't that easy for him actually, Mike, because the shot from Schumacher was drilled in.
You can't help but admire the skills of that big man Schumacher as well. Perhaps the pass not to the advantage of Tobias that time, but he has proven that he can score goals himself, this man Schumacher. 2 goals in the space of 60 seconds of playing time at the 13th minute of the first half.
Kasanov. Ball again intended for Koshinov. Lenicio. Now Schumacher. Great skill by Schumacher. And once more it's Lakamov who gets his hand to the ball. Schumacher across to take the corner here for Brazil. Wonderful skill there by Banda.
Well, they had to work hard to get the ball off him. And he came up with a second effort, Vanda. And it really was lovely work on the perimeter of the D.
Banda. This time it's Lenicio stretching out to try and get in on the end of that cross this time from Manuel Tobias.
So much power, so much surety, and all the passing by these Brazilians. And of course, when the passing is that strong, it does make it difficult to control at the other end, but these players have such skill, they make it look easy.
Schumacher, who's been on the mark twice, getting back there to snuff out the threat posed by Koshinov. On towards Tuxenbayev. I said during the first half that it might be a damage limitation exercise for Kazakhstan, certainly in the opening 5 minutes or so of that first half, but they're under pressure once more here, and Banda has put the ball in for Brazil. Kariocha Banda is the goal scorer. Now it's 6 for Brazil.
And this is good reward for Vanda. He was right in the play a moment ago, and this time, having passed the keeper Lakamov, he was able to knock it in. Lenicio first of all, and then over the head of the keeper, Vanda said thank you very much. 6-1 to Brazil.
Could be an intriguing game in this group when Brazil meet Portugal. That will be their second fixture. Portugal, arguably one of the unsung forces so far in European futsal. Guatemala also in Group A. It's Brazil on the attack here with Lenicio. Schumacher now. Manuel Tobias. Tobias! Another good save. Lakamov didn't know too much about it, but he stood tall for as long as he could. Just did enough to make the block. Manuel Tobias. And again, it's Lakamov to get the ball away for Kazakhstan.
Well, Tobias or not Tobias, it was so close.
Here's Tobias getting back to cover the threat posed there by Bondrev. It's been good to watch, it's been entertaining. 50 shots, 50 attempts so far for Brazil.
Many of them coming from the man who'll take the kick from the side, Manuel Tobias. What an outstanding player he is. The best in the world. And one would imagine the highest paid in the world, earning a reputed $250,000 US per season.
Lenicio. Banda dispossessed. Here's Schumacher. Forward by Bondrev. Luconi. Kazakhstan guilty of giving the ball away far too easily. And what a finish that was. It was Manuel Tobias.
And clean as a whistle, that was so easy for Tobias. One touch and into the net, and Tobias gets his second. And Brazil get number 7.
Well, Brazil really are in 7th heaven here now. 2 for Manuel Tobias. Schumacher's got 2. Lenicio's got 2. 7-1 to Brazil. And barely 5 minutes of the second half played, and Brazil searching for more goals. Manuel Tobias, an outstanding player in world futsal. Brazil, the outstanding team in world futsal. Bondrev. Rusipov dispossessed. Schumacher. This time he's unable to keep the ball in play.
And when you're leading 7-1, you can afford a wry smile at your own mistake.
Chases on this time for Doskiev. Now, intriguingly, Doskiev, who's actually playing up front here for Kazakhstan, is listed as a goalkeeper. But clearly, Kazakhstan are intent on giving everybody, it seems, a game. There's one or two pairs of tired legs out there because Kazakhstan have been chasing the ball, they've been chasing the game right from the kickoff.
Perhaps they feel they need two goalkeepers.
It's been relentless from Brazil. All the Brazilians on their toes, all eager to get into the action, all the substitutes there just limbering up. Total concentration demanded from Brazil. That's the mark of world champions. And it was Vinicio with the effort just wide.
And what a clever pass it was from Tobias once again. Tobias, that beautiful little pass on the outside. And Vinicio from the edge, just putting it wide.
Took a deflection, and Vanda there has the opportunity to test Lakamov once more. Kalikov. Here's Schumacher. Walking pace now from Brazil. But they can inject pace, it seems, almost at will. Tobias there with a shot. And that really did hurt Linovic. Linovic winced then as Tobias shot. Vanda had nowhere to go there. He was closed down very, very quickly by two defenders, Linovic and Kasanov. Wonderful work there by Schumacher. Schumacher has had an inspired game. Big and powerful. They're eager to get forward whenever he can.
We made the point in the first half how tall this Brazilian side is.
But Brazil caught out on the break here. And that was a fantastic opportunity for Kalikov. He threw his hands heavenwards after he shot wide. Kazakhstan have certainly had their chances. Because they play with so much flair, Brazil are sometimes vulnerable in defence. They get everybody forward. And Kazakhstan at the end of this game will look back at wasted opportunities. Brazil might also look back at their wasted opportunities. The shot tally already past the 50 mark for Brazil. It's been a busy afternoon for Dmitry Lakamov, 24-year-old Kazakhstan goalkeeper. He's had a good game though, Lakamov, unable to do anything about the goals which have been scored by Brazil. Linovic with a header into touch. Of course, in futsal, the ball is allowed to travel over head height. Players can use their heads. Players can also go inside the D, like the five-a-side game. Another five-a-side game indoors. Yuan. Manuel Tobias still doesn't want to take a breather. Vanda. Yuan. Tobias. Vanda. The deflection in. It's been put away by Vanda.
Well, Vanda was in the right place at the right time, but That was just so casual. I'm not sure if he actually realised it was there.
Just brushed against his shins, but it was enough.
It wasn't an intentional shot from Vander. It brushed against him, as Tony Jones mentioned. And that's good enough for a goal. I'll take it. And he gets his second.
8-2 now, the scoreline.
Brazil against Kazakhstan, 8-2.
8-1, I think.
Sorry, 8-1.
Scoreline incorrect there. Now the goalkeeper's getting involved. Labuisia. Vander, 2 goals for him, 2 goals for Schumacher, 2 for Lenicio, 2 for Tobias.
Well, there could be a lot of goals scored in this tournament by Brazil when you think that Tobias scored 14 off his own boot at Spain in 1996. If he does that again, that's averaging almost 2 a game from Tobias, and he has so much support.
Brazil relentless in their pursuit of goals. Here's Tobias. This time he found the side heading, but again, terrific control, went off balance. Had the touch, deft touch there as he spun around almost in mid-air to create a scoring position for himself. More determined play by Schumacher. Once more, Brazil are denied by the post. Vander this time.
Looking for his hat-trick. Hasn't the post been a good player for Kazakhstan?
Time and time again, Brazil have been denied by the woodwork. That was quite an easy chance for Vander.
And it could be another now. Vander.
Vander, good stop there by Langimov. Jawan taking the corner kick. Here's Schumacher. Manuel Tobias. And this time, Langimov has been blessed for a hat-trick from Tobias. He raises his eyes heavenwards. He wants to come off now. He feels that his job is done. A handshake for the player who's come on to replace him. It's Almir.
As we see it once again, Tobias controlling the ball, and he really just does as he likes. He stopped, held onto the ball, and then shot from long range. 9 goals to Brazil.
Brazil 9, Kazakhstan 1 the scoreline. Timeout called this time by Brazil. There's Manuel Tobias. 3 goals already at Futsal 2000. He's had the opportunity to play the game professionally outdoors. He prefers to play indoors. And he's making a good living at it. Brazil, having had the respite of the timeout, beginning to raise the tempo. Yuan. Firmino now on the field for Brazil. Firmino, like Manuel Tobias, one of the players who featured in both 1992 and 1996 when Brazil were world champions. Juan has been very prominent in this second half for Brazil. Juan again, and yet again, the bar has come to the safety for Kazakhstan.
Well, one can only imagine what the scoreline could read. 9 goals already for Brazil. Kazakhstan actually held them for some 10 minutes when between the 13 and the 23-minute marks, but they go forward again. Van Dijk just not able to complete control.
A hefty shove there by Toxenbaev.
When you think 9 goals in effectively 30 minutes when the 9th goal was scored, that there was a 10-minute period where they were goalless. So 9 goals in 20 actual minutes.
Now, Roberto Carlos outdoors is a Brazilian with a phenomenal left foot. What can Firmino produce here? Well, something a bit different, and it didn't quite work for him. He was ready to lash that ball in, I suspected there. The first foul of the second half, and we're beyond the halfway mark. Brazil now beginning to queue up to put the ball in the net, it seems. Getting players forward, getting players into that Kazakhstan D. Juan looks a very tricky customer. Is Tursunov, who's 39 years of age. Vastly experienced Kazakhstan squad. 5 are either aged 30 or over, including the player racing forward there, Linovic. Linovic, who plays for the Aksu club. Brazil come again now. Almir deflected wide for a corner to Brazil. It's almost Brazil's second team out there at the moment. Tursunov, and another fine save by Lavarisia. The pace of the game has been relentless. Brazil have now got their second choice goalkeeper in there, Franklin. Kalikov. Tursunov. Final pass, lacking accuracy. One or two of the Kazakhstan players looking very weary, Mike.
Yes, you can understand why with the scoreline reading 9-1. And it really is a second-string side out there for Brazil, but they keep on attacking, they keep on pressuring, and they keep on scoring goals. No sign of Schumacher, no sign of Tobias. The stars aren't out there. But this is an outstanding backup team.
And that was a good effort too by Tursunov for Kazakhstan. Sorry to break in there, Mike, but he was really flying.
Yes, he was, and Franklin, who has been out there for only a matter of moments, but he's already figured in a couple of very good saves, just outlining once again the depth of this team. When you speak about the depth, there are more registered players in Brazil than any other countries. We see this save once again. On he goes past the halfway, and a powerful shot. Look at the save.
Franklin, the number 2 choice, is Brazilian goalkeeper. But there's Tursunov, the oldest player in the Kazakhstan squad, with the energy to break forward and to bring a good save out of the Brazilian goalkeeper. Goalkeeper had to get down quickly. He was at full stretch to get that ball to safety.
Speak about the number of registered players. Over 200,000 in Brazil, and something like 74,000 juniors as well, and that is wonderful for the future of the game as we see Kazakhstan with a corner.
Dostev just laying the ball off there to Linovic. Tursunov back to get a foot in. It's been a driving force really for Kazakhstan. Eager to get forward from the back whenever Kazakhstan have possession. Just as willing to come back and cover whenever they lose possession. And another fingertip save by Lakamov. Almir, the player, denied. And a chance here for another Brazilian goal, and a chance which has been accepted by Ndui. Now it's 10.
Everyone is getting in on the goal-scoring action. In the 33rd minute, they bring up goal number 10, and there have been some very easy goals there, and it was just one-on-one. Only the goalkeeper to beat, and Endure made no mistake. His first. Sloppy. And there's the score, 10-1.
Sloppy marking there by Kazakhstan. They're looking wary, their heads are beginning to drop now. An exhibition from Brazil. And it's Juan who fires the ball against the crossbar. How many more times, how many more chances will Brazil have in this game?
Well, Brazil dominated their South American qualifiers before beating Argentina 6-0 in the final. They beat Peru by a scoreline of 13-2, Bolivia 6-2. And Bolivia again in the semi-finals, only 3-1, so Bolivia not here, but perhaps unlucky.
Another good opening. India it was who managed to clear the netting behind the goal. I think he found the top row, he found row Z with that one. For obvious reasons, there is a safety net behind both goals. Some of these teams do have a shoot-on-sight policy, and if you've got a ticket behind either goal, you're in the direct firing line. One of the assistants there on the Brazilian bench getting hit in the face there by the ball and is in need of some medical attention now, it seems. The physio's just gone across to check on his condition. Well, it's produced a smile eventually. The quality of Brazil's performance will produce lots of smiles, I'm sure, during this tournament. Has been a very impressive opening by the reigning champions, the 3 times world champions. Almir again. Shefov, who was able to get a foot to the ball, just able to make a telling block there for Kazakhstan. Jawan. Indu just ahead of him, another chance here. The ball just got caught between his feet then. But Indu looking very, very confident. Sparingly used during the first half. He's had more of a run out in these second 20 minutes. Each team in Futsal 2000 has a squad of 14 players. Substitutes can be used at any time, don't forget. Disappointed that he couldn't continue that Kazakhstan move. Lakamov sharply out of his goal to clear the ball into touch.
First time we've seen him leave his goal in the whole match, Lakamov. He's done a very good job back on his line, despite the fact he's conceded 10 goals.
Another audacious chip over the massed blue-shirted ranks there. Brazil have the free kick. And another effort goes begging. It's relentless. Falcao now has come into the action. Falcao, whose skills were a feature of the first half.
They just line up, it's one after another. As one player leaves the pitch, another comes out, and we think, well, where's he been? What's he been resting for? But 14 extremely talented players who are going to prove a major force in these World Championships.
And the scoreline not really a true reflection of some of the quality of the play from Kazakhstan. Against some teams, they would undoubtedly score lots of goals and cause problems, but here it's been very much a rearguard action. Kazakhstan with plenty of pace in their lineup. Toksunbayev getting forward. Toksumbev. Koshinov just trying to barge in between the two Brazilians. Kazakhstan here with a bit more possession. Can they do anything with it? Toksumbev. He's got Kasanov just ahead of him. Kazakhstan forced backwards. Firmino fouled. And do it. Thumping drive and a fine save this time from Firmino.
And the Brazilians have called a timeout with just over 3 minutes remaining in the match. And they will have plenty to celebrate at the end. And Lakamov will wonder about his day's work. How is it you can regard yourself as having a good performance and yet allowing in 10 goals? Well, it could have been many more.
It's only a short respite this for Kazakhstan. Each team entitled to one minute timeout each half. Final instructions there for Firmino from the coach, Japanese Vander, who was a teammate of Firmino back in 1992 and again in 1996. Just a pause while mopping up operations continue. Some water on the surface, playing surface I should say. Linovic. Here come Brazil once more. Falcao. Almir. Chance for Almir. And another brilliant save by Lakamov. Did ever so well there, the goalkeeper. He seemed to be beaten. He committed himself to spreading himself and to anticipate the shot there from the incoming player. But he readjusted well to get the ball to safety. And it's Toksumbev on the charge forward here for Kazakhstan. Attempts on goal, 75 now for Brazil, 18 for Kazakhstan. Just look at that. And attempts on target, 51 for Brazil, 8 for Kazakhstan. It's a shame we can't tell you how many times they've hit the woodwork as well, because we certainly lost count.
That once again brings into the picture the Kazakhstan goalkeeper Lakamov. Just imagine 51 shots at goal coming his way.
Lakamov, I'm sure, will go home tonight and count 1 or 2 bruises too. The ferocity of some of the shooting from Brazil has been something to behold. And his afternoon's work still isn't over.
75 shots on goal, 51 on target. Quite remarkable statistics. You would expect to win a game quite comfortably with those stats.
And what would have happened had Lakamov not been in such outstanding form in goal for Kazakhstan? Don't forget that back in 1996, Brazil hammered 18 past Cuba in one particular game. Tursunov. Duran just bundled him off the ball there. Another fine save by the goalkeeper. Falcao has got a terrific left foot. Everything he does is with that left foot, but it just mesmerises the players he's confronted by. Kazakhstan with plenty of cover in there, but the defensive rearguard breached once more. Brazil have players free here, and one of them is Falcao. And what a fantastic finish that was by Falcao. Well, we're now up to 11 for Brazil, but I doubt if there's been one better than that. The close control, the skills were absolutely breathtaking. Exchange of passes with Ndue, and just look at that. Goalkeeper was committed, the goalkeeper was down. Falcao saw that he was down, and he beat him with a delightful, almost toe punt over the top of the keeper. It was like a golfer's wedge shot, just lifted it over the top of the keeper. That was magnificent.
That was all about touch, that wasn't about power, but the Brazilians can do it either way, and Falcao gets himself on the score sheet.
11-1 now to Brazil. We're into the final minute. Maybe Falcao is ready to make his mark on these championships, and you can point your finger to any in this Brazilian team. Franklin smothering the ball as Kazakhstan try to mount another attack. Firmino. Falcao. Oh, terrific skill again by Falcao. Just look at that. That was wonderful stuff again from Falcao. And was there a trip?
I think there was.
Well, it's a free kick here, right on the edge of the D. Two officials here checking that the defensive wall is almost back on the goal line. Firmino, the player, prepared to take responsibility here for Brazil. I'm sure that Lakamov will stand in front of the defenders who are lining up on the goal line. The goalkeeper has to come out and has to try and smother the ball. Won't be easy to keep this out, and they've succeeded. Heel there by Firmino to try and catch Kazakhstan out. Ndue with a shot which was deflected wide for another corner. And Ndue with the header over the top of the crossbar.
We've seen the goals coming in all manner of sizes and means here in force today. And that was almost the first header.
And we're up to 80 attempts now on goal by Brazil. Terrific run by Falcao, and it's Ndue who's put the ball in at the post. 12 now for Brazil, 2 for Ndue, and it was Falcao the creator this time. Again Falcao with that surge of pace to create the opening for his teammate there, Ndue.
The first little kick with the right foot didn't quite make it, so he tapped it in with the left. What an attack once again. There he is.
Well, it begged Ndue to score from there. Falcao had done all the hard work. The final hooter. Brazil, the world champions in 1989, 92 and again in 96. Have got their campaign off to a winning start. A comprehensive 12-1 defeat of Kazakhstan. Ndue there with 2 goals in the second half. The goals were shared out. Manuel Tobias, their man of the tournament back in 1996, scored a hat-trick. Outstanding contributions as well from Falcao. But a very, very impressive start. It's Brazil 12, Kazakhstan 1.